This is going to be a doozy. Hello and welcome. Welcome back to Sit Down and Shut Up with Sakura. I'm Sakura Flames, and well, I'm gonna be real frank with you guys. I'm very shaken by what's happened as of lately. No, it's not some sort of life-changing event, nor is it like some kind of incident back at home. No, it's something more, I guess, something more tied to my hobbies before I became so into VR chat. Or maybe they were hand in hand. I'm not sure. Okay, so I know I've been talking about Destiny like I have been playing from the very start. Truth be told, I have not. I only got into Destiny 2 around the Shadowkeep expansion, back when Bungie broke away from Activision and decided they were going to make it free to play. I remember back when I had like a crappy ass computer. I'm pretty sure it had like old Intel stuff. Had like a freaking GT 750 or something like that in terms of graphics. I did not have the greatest initial experience. I lagged a lot. I got taken to places that I probably shouldn't have been supposed to go for my level. Thank God for my friends for being there. And overall, I was pretty overwhelmed. I kind of quit early in, and then I hopped back in after seeing some of my friends play it. Then I upgraded my PC, and from there on, I was very much like very active. I'm pretty sure I could play that game for like 7-8 hours on end. Like there were times where like I wouldn't have work. I would literally wake up, have breakfast, play Destiny, take a break to have lunch, go right back into the game, and I wouldn't stop playing until either I got bored or I had to have dinner. That's how invested I was in this game. Because, like, I was so immersed in the campaign. I remember playing through Red War. Gaul, you are an asshole, just so you know. I played through the Curse of Osiris. It was an okay expansion. And then I played through God damn it, what was that one Mars expansion? I keep forgetting the name of it! God, but it has to do with like you know what? It'll come back to me later on. I just know it will. But I was hooked. I started out as a Titan. I got into the habit of punching everything I had and everything in sight. That was way too much fun. And then from there, I started branching off. I started playing Warlock, and that was my main class for like the longest time. I even branched out and tried playing Hunter, but I wasn't used to the gameplay. So, like, for the longest time, I played 3 classes. I played Titan, I played Warlock, I played Hunter, and I think for the longest time, I played Warlock. Nothing like having the ability to cast a Healing Rift and throwing grenades everywhere. Oh, okay, I'm just rambling at this point, but you get the idea. I felt most comfortable being Warlock. My friends at the time knew that I was getting really hooked, so back when I didn't have a job, back when I didn't have any money, I believe one of my close friends, she gifted me, I believe it was Shadowkeep first, so I got to play through, face off against the nightmares, explore the moon. Moon's still haunted, by the way. And then, well, okay, I kind of like Shadowkeep. It was nice, it gave me like stuff to do, but that was really about it. What really caught my attention was the moment that I got Forsaken. Destiny 2's Forsaken expansion. Oh, it is so well done. Oh my god, I can't even find words to describe the amount of joy that I had running around the Tangled Shore and blasting the crap out of every single scorn that got in my way. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, even after I completed Forsaken, the Tangled Shore was where I spent the most of my time. Like, you could catch me going around. Oh, where's my gun? Damn it. I'll grab it later. Anyways, I went around, I blasted the crap out of every single scorn that got in my way. I had the time of my life. And then there were the strikes. The Hollow Lair, I know a lot of people are like controversial about that shit, but that was one of the best strikes I've ever done. And I believe I have done I've done Nightfall all the way up to I believe it was Heroic, probably. I know, I'm not the best player. I will admit that. I'll admit that right now. I'm not the best player. I died a lot, and because I played Titan so much at first, I developed a very bad habit of punching literally everything, including the shit that explodes. I would be lost in a whole ass melee frenzy, bam, 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 and then all of a sudden, oh shoot! It's an exploding shank! Oh no! It's a cursed thrall! And then I'll have to spend... And then my friends will fucking laugh their heads off watching me wait to respawn. Those 4 days. My god. I swear to god, if I were to go back into the game right now, I would probably still be able to... I would be unable to break that habit still. Can you blame me? It's fun to punch the crap out of everything. Okay? So, I believe I started getting in... I believe around the time I got a job, I think, is around the same time that I finally decided to make my first purchase, and I got the Beyond Light expansion. Beyond Light was, oh my god, that was a turbulent era, because you had like an entirely new darkness related subclass, you got stasis, and holy shit, it was so overpowered at the time. I remember, I didn't do like PvP a lot, I did not enter a Crucible or Iron Banner, but I did watch gameplay, I heard from my friends. Stasis was absolutely goddamn broken. Oh my god, I forget what the hunters did, but oh my god, it was so broken you couldn't even compete against them. You saw one of these guys in Rumble, and you were pretty much screwed. You were just feed for them. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't use my stasis stuff very often, though I still grinded the crap out of it to level up. And I had a lot of fun, and I believe it was also during Beyond Light that I got to experience my first raid, the Deepstone Crypt. Admittedly, we didn't get very far, because I was still very new at the time. I did get to see Taniks, though. Screw you, Taniks. I never got to defeat you in the raid. You are a pain in the ass. Go back to your sleeping pod. Beyond Light was also around the time that I started getting invested into the seasonal stuff. I don't remember very much of what it was before, but like when I actually bought the battle pass, if it can even be called one, and started getting access to seasonal content, the weapons, they were nice and all that crap. Like, I remember, like, the first time I got my bow, I was like, holy crap, I could really put this thing to work. I was a long-range specialist. Give me a bow, give me a sniper rifle, or hell, I even popped heads with the God, what was that one frame for the auto rifle? High impact, that's what it was. High impact. Yes, high impact auto rifles. God, I don't remember the name of the one that I got, but it was like, it's got like this really weird square like scope. It had like the body was like kind of boxy, kind of. If you guys can like tell me the name of that auto rifle, leave it in the comments. I would be grateful if you guys recalled. And then came the, was it the first, like, of the seasonal? Because I know, like, I don't remember all the details. I remember, like, playing through, Presage. I don't know if this was still in the Beyond Light era. Maybe it was. I might be misremembering things because it's been so long since I last played. But Presage was my first exotic quest. And it holds fond memories for me because this was the first one that I did completely solo. I remember going through the Glycon, thinking I was stepping into a goddamn horror game. I almost didn't know what to do at first until I saw the path and got inside. The Scorn were an absolute pain in the ass. I remember when I got to the hangar and got to like the big boss fight, I had to rely on guerrilla tactics. Yes, you heard it right. I acted like an absolute wimp. I camped out the enemies. I killed whatever came my way, grabbed ammo, and just I literally cherry tapped the abominations to death. Was it worth it? Yes. Was it absolutely cheesy, and did it take, like, almost half an hour? Also, yes. And oh my god. And then there was the Locust of Communion. That guy was annoying. That guy... I actually died several times because I couldn't get upstairs in time. Because he frickin' superheated the boiler room underneath. But I got through. I got my dead man's tail, and for the longest time, it was my go-to primary. Like, the thing handled smoothly. It was good with headshots. I know this thing was meant for Crucible and PvP, but since I never touched it, yeah, I just liked it. Coming off of the hype of Beyond Light, the Witch Queen expansion came out. Now, it was around here that I started losing interest. Like, sure, I like the idea of the new world that we got. I loved the aesthetic of Savathun's throne world, but there was just something about the story that just... it felt wrong. I don't really know what to say about it. I went through the Witch Queen campaign with all three classes, and it was here that I ran into my first serious wall, because this was when they started introducing, like, God, I don't remember what it was. I can't recall the name, but it was like you were limited, so you had like the normal. Oh no, wait, I remember. It was like you had like a normal mode, and then you had like a hard mode where your light was set to like a certain level if you were over, and the enemies were stronger. Oh my god, I got thrown for a loop. The hard mode was so hard that I could not get past the first level without dying 20 times over to the same fucking boss. 20 times! Do you have any idea how much of my sanity was lost fighting against the fucking Cabal? The same fucking Cabal over and over again! Oh my god! I believe after that, and trying like a couple more hard modes, I said screw it, I went back to normal mode, and I did not look back. I don't care that like some of the really good gear was locked behind that shit. I don't care that I could, level up as much as I could before. I almost punched my computer a few times out of rage because it just was so mind-bogglingly difficult. Okay, I need a moment. I'm getting bad memories just thinking about it. I don't remember if Witch Queen was when they started reintroducing the... No, it was when they started reintroducing the old Destiny 1 content. So around this time, we got a lot of, I guess... a lot of nostalgia grabs. So, this was when they started doing their, I forget like their anniversary, the year of their anniversary, but this was when they started like releasing like Halo stuff. So we got the Halo Magnum. That thing was an absolute beast in the battlefield. We got like a lot of other a lot of other weapons, and then we got the Grasp of Avarice dungeon. That is by far my most favorite one to plunder. Sure, I get my ass kicked a lot and I can't do it solo, but what the hell? One of the best dungeons I've ever done, because it takes the freaking loot cave from the first game, gives it lore. It was so unserious and serious at the same time. I absolutely loved it. And then there was the Dares of Eternity. Oh my god, the Dares of Eternity. Best game mode I have ever done, right next to Gambit. Yes, you heard that right. I actually like Gambit. Sue me, I dare you. I actually liked Gambit. It was a perfect mix of PvP and PvE, and I absolutely wrecked house whenever I was Invader. You put a hand cannon or like a bow or a sniper rifle. Like, if I had range, these guys wouldn't see it coming. I would go and bam, bam, and woo! I cleaned house. Anyways, I'm trailing off again, but yeah, Dares of Eternity was really fun, especially with the way they presented it as a game show. I completed like everything related to it within like the month. Did it go on for a month? I don't remember. And I got like all the stuff for it. It was amazing. And I personally enjoyed the fact that they brought back old bosses like Valis Taurk. They brought back Crota for I believe it was like the third time. Because I know they brought him back in Shadowkeep, and then they brought him back again as a champion in Dares of Eternity. Then we got, God, I forget that Minotaur's name. They also got him. Oh man, I loved that era. The anniversary was amazing. The content was amazing. Everything was amazing. And then it all started going to shit. This was around the time where I didn't get on as frequently as I should have. With the Neo Muna expansion coming up. Was it Neo? Was it the name? No, I don't remember the name. It was that forgettable. I just remember that Neo Muna was added, and I'm pretty sure I didn't even bother to buy that expansion. It was weird, the city was all strange, and the NPCs were... I really don't want to say anything to offend anyone, but you get the idea. They were so weird. And the new strand power was... I didn't even try it out. I didn't want to try it out. And most of the attacks were not very original. Like, when I played Warlock, most of the strand skills and supers were... Some of them were taken directly from the Voidwalker class. Like, I recognize like the Nova Bomb, but strand. And then when they started adding like the and then when they it's just that forgettable. I don't remember much of it, but this was when I stopped completely playing it. I did my last few things. I completed Vault of Glass when it came out. Didn't get Vex Mythic class, sadly. I got like some crappy machine gun with a really bad roll. And that was it. Dropped Destiny right then and there and didn't look back. Skip past Final Shape and skip past all the other stuff, including that horrendous I don't know if I want to call it horrendous, because the Star Wars collab looked nice on paper, but that's about where it started to really fall apart. With the end of service coming up, this is when I decided I'm not going to come back, but I'm going to like at least talk about it. So there are a lot of things about Destiny that I like and don't like. I'll start with the positives. So, the moment Destiny 2 became free-to-play, I hopped on, and as I upgraded my computer and got like a better experience, I really enjoyed like the vastness of the entire place. Like I said earlier, I could spend hours just jumping from planet to planet, going from sector to sector, and I just killed literally everything in sight. The strikes were nice. I did some Crucible, and I think one time I did Iron Banner, though I sucked awfully at it. I did not touch Trials of Osiris. I was not that much of a sweat. I did a lot of Gambit, to the point that I believe I could even do Malfeasance, the Malfeasance quest. And overall, like, the experience was really nice. I didn't do very many raids. I mentioned the botched Deepstone Crypt raid. I never got anything good out of it. The Vault of Glass I completed, but well, you heard about what I said earlier. And overall, and then I also loved like the variety of weapons. Like, you had a gun for literally everything. And the exotics were, well, they were nice. If I could list the 5 most used ones that I had, let me see. I had Outbreak Perfected. Outbreak Perfected was so amazing. I love the way it like just decimated literally everything the moment you started chaining headshots. Dead Man's Tale is a close second. Trying to remember. Le Monarch is 3rd. Trinity Ghoul 4th. And 5th. I would give that to Thorn. Yeah, Thorn. As much as I want to praise Destiny 2, though, there were quite a few things that I didn't like. And one of those things I want to talk about is how grindy the whole thing feels. Like, I remember, I'm at a good light level, and, the next expansion comes out. Now I gotta grind all over again, to meet, like, endgame content. And while I didn't mind it at first, as the stuff got harder, it kind of felt like I was getting left in the dust. Like, half the time, I would be forced to just roam around, shoot enemies for engrams, do strikes, that kind of stuff. And half the time, like, it wasn't even that good. Like, I had a preference, and I feel like that limited me because I believe there was a time where, like, where shotguns were meta. I don't like shotguns very much. But once they were in meta, they, like, most of the objectives that you could do, they revolved around it. And it just didn't sit right with me. Like, I love long range. I love bows. I love hand cannons. All that pizzazz. And I couldn't keep up at times. And, oh my god, don't even get me started on the sun setting and vaulting. That's my biggest problem. So, when Beyond Light came out, we lost a lot of planets. Well, not a lot of planets. We lost Titan, we lost Mars, we lost Mercury, all in the sake of, quote-unquote, storage. And while I understand that, what I don't understand is why we lost half of our weapons. They sunset, like, all the good shit. I remember one of my friends having a mental breakdown because he lost his perfect mountaintop. And I felt him. I didn't have, like, a good, like, meta roll, but, like, I had my preferences. And to see them just get left in the dust, all because the newer weapons were supposed to be better, is just, it's a slap to the face. It feels like all the stuff that we worked for was just, BAM! Gone. And then they started vaulting the old content. Red War was gone. Curse of Osiris was gone. And I was actually scared. And my fears did come true when they eventually vaulted Forsaken. Bungie, I will never forgive you for vaulting Forsaken. That was my favorite expansion. I loved the Tangled Shore. I loved the lore. I loved the campaign. And you shut it all away for the sake of what? Ugh. I at least got to kick the Fanatics' ass one final time in the Hollow Lair Strike before it went away. I will never forgive Bungie for this. Ever. They took Cade away from us. They took away everything that was good. Ugh. 1 second, I need a moment. And I think, like, I talked about this with a lot of my friends. I even talked about this with some of my coworkers who enjoyed Destiny. Bungie was on a good roll. They had it in the bag with Destiny 1. But then, once they started making Destiny 2, I felt like that was when everything started, like, going under. Because at the time, Destiny 2 was promised to be a really good game, like a really good sequel. You create your Guardian all the way back at the very beginning, and their story carried over. That was the whole point of Bungie, at least according to my boss. Yes, my boss was an OG Destiny player. shout out to the guys at Warehouse 390 for at least talking to me about this, because it's good to know that I'm not the only one. And by the time Destiny 2 came out, all of our expectations kind of just burned up right then and there. Oh no! The Red Legion attacked the old tower and destroyed everything! All the stuff that you got, all your exotic weapons, your jump ships, your armor, all of that, Gaul just blew it to high hell! Now you gotta get all your new shit and, you know, take revenge, and... Oh, well, Red War was a good campaign, but I can't even imagine the pain that, like, veteran players went through. Like, I can't even imagine having to start from square one because, oh, they couldn't port over all the new shit. Well, they did start porting over the older stuff. Like I said before, they started reintroducing old content. You had strikes like, you had bosses like Saber 1, Saber 2 return. You had like Hawk Moon and you had like, what was that one pulse rifle again? I forget. It was introduced in Beyond Light. It was like it had like the rewind perk. And then you had stuff like No Land Beyond. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't get that weapon, but from what I heard, it was pretty good. Oh my god. And from there, the story kind of just devolved. There were times where I just didn't feel like doing anything, and I just walked around that tower all day, just finding Easter eggs and talking about the lore with my friends. Shout out to Stackham if you are watching this. I am forever grateful for the lore dumps that you went over with me, and it is for that reason that I actually stuck with Destiny. I took the time to read all the books that I unlocked. I took the time to actually, do some research. I took the time to even look back on Destiny 1's lore. That was the kind of stuff that kept me interested even when I wasn't playing. But aside from that, the gameplay was starting to get stale, and I am glad that I jumped ship before Destiny started introducing their... I don't even want to talk about it. It looked so much like... it looked like Fortnite. And I hate Fortnite with a burning passion. You don't like that? Sue me! I know I dropped a lot of negative stuff on Destiny, but I also praise it, but honestly, there's a lot that was left for desire. Like, for example, I remember talking about this in a group chat with some of my friends. We were talking about the way Destiny would end. I personally wanted to see it end in like a grand showdown, and then our ghost, flees, like we sacrifice ourselves to let our ghost escape, and they go on to revive a new guardian to kind of start the journey all over again, to set up for like a potential Destiny 3. I wanted to be like a sort of passing the torch, because at the time, Destiny 3 was possible. But then Bungie kind of just went on and on and on with new content that sometimes didn't even make sense, and honestly, I'm gonna be really honest. Destiny, I believe, should have stopped after Beyond Light. Like, Beyond Light was one of the greatest expansions I've ever seen. And I feel like that was a good stopping point. But then they started going onwards. They started like developing Witch Queen. They started going out. Then they went all the way to the final shape. I didn't even bother to buy that expansion. I didn't even play at the time. And it was just, the story was feeling lackluster. I got confused with all the lore, and I just like stuck with what I knew from Beyond Light and just kind of ditched the rest. And that's the other thing. I was hoping for like if Bungie sold like, I don't know, like a massive lore book, just like a massive like 5,000 probably page thing, I would have actually spent real money. I would have actually bought it. And I would consult that thing. Like, unironically, I would actually consult it. And yet it never came around. Or maybe it did and I'm forgetting, but like, I wanted to dive into the game's lore. I wanted to learn more about the Elixir, more about the Cabal. But for the most part, Bungie just kind of left them far too open. They didn't give us flesh them out enough. And then there was the Scorn. They were basically zombie fallen, but like the opportunity to kind of like show relationships between the two like factions. Well, actually, you know what they did? But they did it in the weirdest way possible, because they brought back the Fanatic again, and they ruined the guy. I actually liked the Fanatic as a character. I liked him as a boss enemy, but the fact that like years after they vaulted Forsaken, they decided to bring the guy back, and they did the poor guy dirty. But of course, just because Destiny 2 started becoming stale didn't mean that I didn't enjoy the lore. Like I said, I spent hours on that stuff. And this eventually led to the creation of my OCs, original characters. Originally, I started out as a StarCraft fan before I got into Destiny. So some of my OCs got my start in StarCraft. And then working together with Stackham. Again, thank you so much for consulting everything and helping me make everything look reasonably canon. I started developing my first OC, Katrin Miyuki. Let me find her. Oh! Okay. There we go. Yeah, this is her. And, and to this day, she still has the most lore out of all my OCs. Can I grab my gun from here? Yes, I can. So I'm pretty sure I spent hours on end just like kind of fleshing her out, figuring out what worked and what didn't. And Stackham, again, was the one to help me because at the time I just said, oh, the Vex threw her into the Soul System. But she also has like these abilities that, like I said, mimicked like the Guardians. And we eventually came over a lot of different things. And as time went on, I continued to expand it into a whole entire what do you call it when you put a bunch of your OCs together into like one big group? Because that's what gave rise to my personal lore bit of the House of Zerg, which was basically like just Zerg and Elixir mixing in one. And for the longest time, I actually updated my own lore books. I took details from Forsaken, from Shadowkeep, from Beyond Light, even a little bit of Witch Queen. But after that, I kind of just started branching out. I started developing like I started developing Katrin's family. I started developing like you know, stuff outside of Destiny, like, you know, like her personal life, all that crap. And now with the potential end of service, honestly, I don't know. Like, I want to flesh out Katrin more, but with potentially no more content being made for Destiny, what I have for her might be it. It doesn't mean I won't use her very often. Of course, like I love her. This was my first big project, and I freaking love how she came out. She went through so many different redesigns, and she's one of my most cherished OCs. As of currently, Destiny 2 is in quite a buzz. I've seen the videos, I've seen the massive collections of players, guardians who have been in this game for years on end, gathering together in a tower to pay their final respects to what was arguably one of the best games of all time. As much as I didn't like how everything went, I still have very fond memories of the whole thing. I still remember, even though we were at each other's throats during the Vault of Glass, I still had an incredibly enjoyable experience. I got to complete my first raid, and it's just like, the community is so nice. I know there were a few bad apples, but like overall, like everyone was willing to help. Everyone was willing to play their part, even if they were blueberries. And oh crap, 1 second. Sorry about that, my battery was actually running low. Where did I leave off? Yes, the community. The community is just so strong, I guess I could say. And it was what kept me coming back, even when, you know, things weren't looking too good. To all the Guardians that see this video, to those that still enjoy Destiny, thank you so much for the experience. Thank you for, like, everything. All the strikes, all the times I got my ass kicked in Crucible, all the plays in Gambit. Like, you guys have created memories for me that will never fade away. They will persist even after Destiny 2 hits EOS. And I couldn't ask for a better community. I really couldn't. Fuck, I'm tearing up over here. 1 second. Oh my gosh. Again, just thank you for being the players you are. That's all I have to say about Destiny 2. It's a good game. It had so much potential, but it simply fell flat. And despite everything, despite the fact that I didn't touch the game for almost like so many years on end, I am still a Guardian at heart. I am still that punch-happy Titan at my core. And I'm here making this video to pay my respects to a game that kept me entertained for so long, right alongside VR chat. Once again, thank you for everything. trap it. But the light will always